Right now in Canada, we can't even agree that we don't want Canada to look like New India. I was just in Montreal this past weekend for some business. And I don't know if you Quebecers or Montreal people have noticed, Montreal literally looks like a giant Minnesota daycare center. I'm looking around, I'm like, what the fuck happened? Where did all the French people go? I've seen Americans come to Toronto and be like, where did all the Canadians go? It's just brown people ever. I felt like that in Montreal this past weekend. I thought it was crazy, you know? And the fact that the native population, the native Canadian population doesn't want to stand up and say, no, we want to keep our country the way that it is. It's sad. And when they get their majority government in, a couple days, couple weeks time, whatever, who knows, maybe they'll have more floor crossers this afternoon. They'll seal the deal. Everything else is just cherry on top. But when they ram through Bill C9, where like the UK, they can throw your ass in jail for mean tweets or anything they don't like. Who knows? Maybe they'll throw me in jail. Maybe they have good jail coffee. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe the jail accommodations in Canada aren't that bad. Who knows? But that's the future. It's sad. I've been trying to tell myself lately that I'm too blessed to be stressed. Right? I'm very fortunate. I'm tall, handsome, humble, and sexy, of course. But I have a good, clean bill of health. I'm in the very tail end of my 20s here. I got a whole lifetime ahead, going to come into my prime peak years ahead. There's lots of things to look forward to, personally for me. And ultimately, I'm not in Iran, right? If I was in Iran, things could be a whole lot worse. Well, I'm not in Iran yet. I don't know, when I saw Carney talking about, we haven't ruled out sending out troops to support him, I thought, oh boy. Oh boy. You know what? I didn't have this in the programming, but just a thought coming to mind here. If Canada was to support that, which, I mean, it's kind of funny. Our borders here are completely wide open, but we got to go help secure some border over the Middle East that has no influence on us. But we'll just leave the borders here wide open and be invaded. But there's like 13 people in the Canadian military countrywide. So I don't know who's going to go fight for their country. I even thought the other day, too, I thought, if the Prime Minister invokes something to have like a military draft where all military age men in Canada have to go and fight, I would probably be in that camp. But I thought to myself, pretty much every military age male that I know would not go and fight for their country. I have zero desire to go and fight for my country. If somebody was going to come in and take over and invade, I'd say, right this way, fellas. The gold mine's over there. The stuff you want's there. Please make yourself at home. Put your coat up on the bed, like the late, great Gord Downie once said. Jacques Cartier, right this way. But there's no sense of patriotism within the country or current level of pride, even in myself, to want to go and do that. But then I thought, to be the logical person that I am, I thought, well, maybe if everybody was forced to go and fight for the country in the military against their will, people would protest and have a giant civil unrest, hopefully a peaceful revolution. But then they would use that to, like the trucker convoy, break out the military, break out the RCMP, break out the ride horses, etc., freeze bank accounts, and then take a bunch of people and say, you're going whether you like it or not. Sadly, I'd probably be one of them. And we'll go throw your ass over in Iran and you can go die in the Middle East type of deal. And maybe, who knows, maybe it's the final stage to bring in the surveillance state of like, oh, look at how crazy things are. People are protesting. We need mass surveillance and AI police to keep everything secure. And also all the white Canadians that, born and raised, like myself, even though I look like it, we'll send your ass over to go die in the Middle East, and then that'll be the end of white males in Canada. They'll be able to just have the women left. Nobody will be here to support and protect them. I mean, I've argued before that Canadian men have just completely dropped the ball in protecting our women. Like our beautiful white Canadian women that I love so much, we have completely abandoned and dropped the ball in allowing them to be manipulated the way that they have been, and using them as a pawn to facilitate the destruction, the demolition, the controlled demolition of our country. It's awful. But who knows? I wonder with the majority, though, with his, negotiated majority, I wonder when is enough enough? Have Canadians had enough yet? Have they suffered enough? Is there an appetite for radical change? Is there an appetite to say, okay, that's the last straw. I'm willing to go down to Ottawa? Because realistically speaking, you're not allowed to say it. And I think Bill C9 is kind of further emphasized and like, hey, don't say this or you're going to go to jail. But the reality is, like, Canada needs a peaceful revolution. Like, if the trucker convoy had 100,000 people in Ottawa, we need 1 million people going down to Ottawa to say, we want the country back. Enough. And like, you politicians hate us. You despise us. You do not work for us. You hate people like me. You hate the average person going about their day-to-day life, trying to provide, trying to have kids, reproduce, have one kid, have a woman that respects them, and have a life that they find fulfillment in. You hate people like us. You despise us. We'd like our country back, please, and some semblance of normalcy of the Canada that I grew up in, because this is not the Canada that I grew up in.